All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Jen. I'm the Director of Marketing over at EverRise, and I am so excited to welcome you guys to this really special edition of DeFi Talks with David Gokhshtein and Benzinga. Today, we have some really special guests. We have Mariella from Gate.io, and I believe we have some other folks that will be joining us here shortly. But before we get started, I was hoping we could all quick introductions, and then I'll be handing the mic over to David and we can jump right in.
Absolutely. Hi, guys. I'm TJ. I am the Director of Communications at EverRise. I'll pass it off to Waso.
Hey guys. I'm Waso. I'm our Director of Business Development. Let's go ahead and pass it off to Brian.
Hey guys, I'm Brian. I co-host the roadmap on the Benzinga YouTube channel, and I work for Benzinga. I do customer success, but I also do a lot of stuff kind of on our crypto side, more or less. But I also head up our Twitter Spaces and things like that, and I'm just happy to freaking be here with all y'all.
I love it. David, who are you?
What's going on? David Gokhshtein here, founder and CEO of Gokhshtein Media. We report on crypto, blockchain, and sometimes not sometimes, but 20% on lifestyle. Formerly with EverRise. Shout out to the entire EverRise community. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Benzinga. Good people over there. Really nice people. And it's a pleasure to see everybody here tonight.
And last but not least, Mariella, how are you?
Hey guys, doing great. Thanks for having me here. My name is Mariela. I am the Business Development Manager at Gate.io and happy to be here talking with you guys.
Amazing. That said, I think we'll start off with a first question for you, Mariella. What are your thoughts on the current DeFi landscape, and where do you see it going in 5 years?
Well, I think definitely we're seeing a lot of innovation right now. A lot of new projects are coming in, and also the projects that have been already developed are establishing very well. I think right now what is needed it's use case applications that are safer and a little bit more mature. What I mean by this is before with DeFi, it was like a trial and error kind of thing. I think right now what the market needs it's absolute secure products, and I think we're seeing that being developed at the moment. In addition, I also see a lot of people who've invested in DeFi still wanting to invest in DeFi, even though the market conditions are not the best right now or they have been a little bit unstable. But for the good projects, it maintains stable. And I think this comes to say a lot about the growth of DeFi in the future. I think definitely DeFi, it's here to stay. It is, after all, it's the applications that come with it, the real importance of the use case of those. And we should never forget that, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is resolve issues and problems. And in the majority, many DeFi products are coming to do that. And so that's the way that we should keep our focus, just making sure that projects are being developed, mature a little bit. But definitely, I believe that DeFi is here to stay and it's going to overtake a lot of the current technologies that we're currently utilizing.
Sorry, space is glitched there for a second. Wasso, I see you dropped off. I know you wanted to reply to that. I saw you unmute your mic. You might have to come back up here. Just sent you an invitation, but great answer, Mariella. That kind of leads me into the next question. What makes you so excited about DeFi? Because obviously, Gate lists a ton of DeFi projects. There's a lot of amazing things being built in the DeFi landscape. What are you most excited about in terms of DeFi?
On my personal perspective, I think it's changing the way that we think about permission and control. And I love the fact that the control is switching from the big entities and the governments towards the people. And most projects are giving out the control, whether it's to people or to projects itself. And I think that it's what excites me the most. The ability for people to get more involved in the control of, especially the finances. I think at the end, it's your money and you should have control over it. So that really excites me about all that DeFi is coming out. But also, there's so many new applications that every day I see a new project doing something different, and I'm just amazed at all the applications and new things, whether it's in gaming, whether it's in creating new forms of data management. It's just something very unique and revolutionary. So I'm excited about everything that comes to it. But yeah, my main thing would be definitely to regain control of what we use, how we use it, and who handles our data too, which I think it's a great point to make.
So I got a question for you for Gate.io in general. I know that everybody's going into the NFT space right now, and Coinbase is launching their own marketplace. Does Gate.io have any plans to jump into the NFT space as a whole?
So glad you asked. We actually already have. It's something that we haven't exposed too much because we want to make sure that we have it a little bit more advanced. But we do have our NFT Magic Box. It's already live. We already have people buying and selling NFTs in our marketplace. We're actually just started this new artist contest. So if you guys know any artists that want to come in and participate in Gates contest, we're going to be choosing one monthly to showcase in Gate and have some exciting activities. We also just did some exciting activities for Women's Day in the Meta Week in Dubai, where we actually got NFT artists that were actually painting live paintings, which will then be transferred to our NFT Magic Box for sale. So definitely, there's a lot of things coming up there. A lot of new things coming this year for our NFT Magic Box. So yeah, we haven't made it so publicly available, but this year's you're gonna see a lot more information about that. But the NFT Magic Box is there. You guys can go and mint your own NFTs. It's super easy to use, And yeah, it's already set up, and definitely we're going to move forward with that.
Awesome. So, one quick question I have. So, I'm in the U.S. and I have tried to get on Gate.io, but it wouldn't. I don't think I'm able to. Is there any plans to, expand to allow customers in the U.S. to use Gate.io?
Right now, we are obviously working on complying with current regulations. So depending on the products, yes, you would have limited availability, but there are some products that are available in the US. It really depends on what you're trying to do. But yes, as far as it goes, we're definitely working on complying with all regulations. Or other services and products to give you guys. We have, continuous brainstorming sessions about what else can we give our customers, what else do they want, how else can we help them, what other activities can we give to them. And yeah, that's why we try also to give them as many as tokens as possible. Obviously, we do our thorough research. We make sure that it's not going to be tokens that will put at risk our audience too and our customers. But yeah, I think what I love most about Gate is the fact that I've worked with other exchanges, whether directly or indirectly, and I think Gate is the one where I've noticed they have the focus on the customer the most.
Yeah, I think that's so key, right? Especially as we're seeing crypto and DeFi evolve and, global ownership is increasing steadily year after year. But with the focus on the customer, I think that's really important because it allows us to lower that barrier of entry a bit, right? Um, and like on that note, I guess from your perspective, what are the biggest barriers to entry that you're seeing in the space? Whether that's for, folks that are kind of already in DeFi or dabbling in DeFi, or the folks that, have no experience but want to get into the space.
I think the biggest issue is misinformation and the lack of education. People are wanting to get into it, they have the interest. Unfortunately, they don't know how, and they might fall for, there's so many scams right now. I probably myself have like a lot of scammers posting as me, trying to scam people. And so when people are misinformed and they don't get the right information, they lose interest, right? Because they have a pretty bad first experience. And that is something that we're also trying to focus on Gate. We're developing our educational content. We also have the Gate Academy. If you look at it up in our website, we have a glossary of terms. We're trying to develop a little bit more. And another important factor that we've noticed too is the lack of information in other languages that are not English. It's awesome to have it in English, and obviously, most of the world can understand English. But there's also a lot of markets that they don't know English and they don't understand it, and those are the markets that are being most affected for the lack of information. And so we're also developing a lot of our content now in different languages for all of our users to understand and to expand into these markets. But I definitely think that one of the hardest things is one, education, and obviously two, regulation, because we have to comply with whatever region regulates it. We have to comply with whatever they're asking. And sometimes, depending on the region, that might or might not make it easier for the users. So those are the two main things. And I think, yeah, education is it's something that us and everyone in blockchain could support. At the end of the day, we all wanted to make it work and to move forward and have it succeed. So I think even as individuals, if we take the time to teach people about crypto and have the patience, because we lose patience once you talked with 50, 100 people all asking you what is crypto, and it's hard for them to understand at the beginning. But I believe that a good point to make is that we have to have patience and be able to explain it to every single person, because that's the only way that you get mass adoption, is for people to understand it and love it. And the only way they're going to love it is if they know how to use it.
Yeah, it's so funny. I couldn't agree with you more. Like that's a question that we get asked a lot too, just as a DeFi protocol. And really, I just want to underscore your point. Like it's education, education, education. And I think because the space is so new, there's still so much to navigate, especially if you're like setting up a DeFi wallet for the first time. And, you know, the way DeFi wallets interact on iOS is completely different than Android. And then on the web, it's like a whole other thing. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that point. I did want to just pause real quick. Hi, Carrie. I see we have another speaker who's joined us. Carrie, do you want to take a quick moment and introduce yourself?
Hi guys, thank you for inviting and great to be here. My name is Carrie. I work for OKX listing. So yeah, there's quite a lot happening with OKX listing as well. So we recently just rebranded uh, from OKEX into OKX, and we just sponsored Manchester City, and there probably going to be more sponsorship happening this year as well. And we do. I can't speak on behalf of other team, but we do have a very interesting listing standard. So I know there's quite a lot, projects out there and try to reach out and try to get listed on OKX. Obviously, we wanted to select the best out there in the market. I think, we're having chats with obviously, EverRise, and I think this is one of the really good foundations out there. The market isn't really at that stage yet, but I think there will be a time, for us to come together, come to fruition in the future. Yeah, and also you know we're ranking number 2 in all exchanges. We're 1/3 of what Binance is, and we're moving forward. So, and yeah, I think that's it. Stay tuned with OKX. I think, yeah, I'm always happy to love to have a chat with everybody, answer to other questions that, and just making a friend and grab a beer and enjoy the day. Yeah, it's a beer market, can't do too much.
I love that. We were just talking with Mariella about some just DeFi questions in general, and I'd actually love to hear your thoughts. And Mariella, if you have any thoughts that you want to add on after you hear Carrie respond, please feel free to. But Carrie, I'll start with this. What are your thoughts on the current DeFi landscape, and where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
Quite insider tradings, and the Phantom ecosystem. It's especially with the foundation of it. There might be more to come in the future, I think. So we're probably not going to list it at this stage yet. And especially with coming on 2020 and DeFi 1.0, and coming down to DeFi 2.0 with Olympus down, and there's a few other like hot forks, such as One and the Monies and stuff, and Abracadabra and Convex, and those are coming out as just trying to improve the way that how liquidity works. And there's obviously there's some rug pull inside of the ecosystem. So my thought of DeFi, like especially me trying it out, and also the ecosystem all coming down to it, and liquidity, how to make sure the liquidity it's properly locked, and it's gonna be provided in the future as well. So I think, I love it because I tried it out as well. I'm still farming on Curve and some other protocols out there. So yeah, that's what I think. There's got to be more work to it.
Yeah, like a lot more infrastructure work, right? And I guess to that point, and we were just talking with Mariella about this. This is kind of when you came in and we were talking about education, but what do you think are the biggest barriers to entry into this space from like where you sit and your point of view?
Well, thank you. I think that's a good question, though. The entry barrier, that's a good one. It's from my point of view, there's too many like niche markets or too many variations of tokens out there at this stage right now. There's toolings, like there's infrastructures, and there's fan tokens, there's GameFi, there's Metaverse, and of course there's meme, right? I mean, from the people I've talked to, I think the easiest way to get into this market or get into this industry is by fan token or meme, right? I mean, there's just like the entry barrier is really really low. I mean, you heard about it, and there's this hype, and everybody's talking about it, right? I mean, it's so easy to get on, and the utility of it is pretty simple, straightforward. How you can use it, as comparison with just say, we're just talking about DeFi, right? I mean, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of like, what does this token do? I mean, what's this utility, man? I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, if I haven't got into this market before, I mean, how can I use it? Right? I mean, what's governance? How to vote it? I don't think there's many people out there. I mean, for the token holder, especially, even for some like conservative amount of token they hold, they don't vote. I mean, the voting system, the DAO, that is one of the reasons why we're working really closely with the DAO tokens out there in the market, right? I mean, I think DAO is definitely going to be one of the most interesting and popular, mechanism, and also the management schemes out there in the future. But the conscious of it and people haven't grasped it, at the most at this stage. Yeah, I mean, they have the tokens for sure, but they don't vote to it too much, right? I mean, I think the majority of the people that it's want the profit of it, but they don't want the process of it. I think that's the really interesting part of it. But just coming back to the topic though, the entry barrier, like me starting off, doing DeFi farming in 2020, and Olympus, we spent quite a few days reading out the news and checking out data just to make sure that it flows. Obviously, there will be a day for it's gonna, something like this is gonna happen, right? So I would say DeFi might be a little bit harder, as a comparison with fan token, because we just sponsored Manchester City though, a couple days back, and I for I have to say I'm not a fan of football. I wanted to be, I think this is the interesting point though, because it's just for a country with 1.4 billion people. Alongside with India, we couldn't find 11 people to get a decent football team. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But fan token, I think that it's one of the other easiest way to get in this market as well. But I've been checking that data on Binance. The fan tokens out there always didn't perform really well. Yeah, so
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like there's a built-in market for that. And I think what you said about DAOs is particularly interesting. It's like folks have these tokens, yet, and they have the ability to participate in governance, but, majority of time, especially with where we are in the state of the industry, like you do oftentimes see people more interested in making a profit than actually participating in the process. But like on that note, like Mariella, like we were talking about niche markets earlier, or Carrie brought up niche markets, and you were talking about how you were really excited to see, other projects emerging, whether it was a metaverse project, a utility project or infrastructure project. Like, what are your opinions on DAOs, Mariella?
I think they're complicated because obviously there's a lot of risk in DAO, there's a lot of power, which is really nice to give the power to the users. But you have to make sure that you're doing it right, that the system works, and because it can very easily be manipulated so that bad actors can affect the project. And so I think it's very important. And like Carrie said, most people, they'll hold a token. I don't know if they don't want to participate or they don't even know how to participate. I've seen it with tokens also, like people don't even know they're staking and there's other opportunities. They just buy it hoping to make a profit, and they don't really invest time in knowing what they hold, and maybe using it for other things. So I think for DAO, this is the case. A lot of people don't even know what DAO it's behind the project. They don't know how to utilize it. And I think a lot of projects, they are struggling to find the adequate form to create this DAO environment. And yes, it's something that I think doesn't come in and dump the project, right, for their own benefit. So I think that's the only risk that I see in DAO. But I feel like if it's developing, and the moment that it develops into a very nice structured way, and we find out how to make that happen, it's going to be a great way to get people involved in everything.
Totally. And like, I think the other thing with DAOs is like that infrastructure, just from a legal perspective, like how we were talking earlier about the regulations, and, you have to comply to regulations per country. And, there's hundreds of countries out there. But from the research I've done, like to legally set up a DAO and make it functional, like that is expensive, and it does take a ton of legal legwork. And I honestly think, like, a lot of smaller protocols, oftentimes they don't really have the budget or backing to execute on something like that. So I'm on the same page as you. I'm really interested to see what infrastructures get built for DAOs, how it goes. I love the emphasis you're putting on security and making sure that like no bad actors come in. But I do want to take this time, because this is DeFi Talks, and I think there's some really interesting things that both OKX and Gate.io are doing in DeFi. Mariella, I would love to start with you. I know there's an initiative to expand Gate Chain. I was wondering if you wanted to share, or if you could share a little bit more about the vision for Gate Chain, or what the ultimate goal for Gate Chain is.
Yeah, to be honest, we are developing some new products, I would say, but I'm not right now at the position to be able to share with you guys. But we will have some exciting news coming up this year. But yeah, we built Gate Chain so that it's easy for anyone to build in it. And with the projects that have gone in and check on it, I think even you guys, EverRise, you've checked on it. We made it easy for any project to come in and build on it, and it's way simpler, because that's our idea, right? To make it simpler for projects and for users to use it. And we want to provide a safe environment and a good blockchain where people can develop without much knowledge. Also, because again, coming back to the education part, and it even goes for projects. There's some blockchains that are very difficult to develop on, and you need to have a very high knowledge about it. And with GateChain, we try to make it as simple as possible, so that projects can still develop and create their projects without having to put in so many resources in understanding exactly how the blockchain works. And so that's our plan for GateChain. But yeah, we have a lot of exciting news coming up. I'm not in the liberty to say right now, but yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more relating to GateChain in this upcoming year.
I mean, it's not like this Spaces is being recorded or anything. Are you sure you don't want to just like drop a couple of hints for us?
No, I can't do it right now, but I'll promise to keep you guys posted. And maybe we can do another one where we share exciting news.
I would love that. Carrie, I would love to throw the same question over to you. I know OKX has its own blockchain now as well. And I was wondering, what is the vision for that, and what's the overarching goal?
Well, thank you for asking that question. Though we do have OEC chain. It's called OKX chain now. And there's there's many protocols up and running in the chains, and I welcome any others projects and protocols out there, and to if you wanted to use OEC, Happy to have a chat with me there. And especially moving into the future, obviously, I've been checking out. There's just two questions, right? I mean, there's OEC chain and there's other chains. Um, I think the predominant sort of question we have here though is how. Now the first is how we can, improve the adoption of OEC, which we're doing on a daily basis. There's we're taking quite a lot of like inquiries and how like the integrations and stuff. And there's EVM chains. There's obviously there's non-EVM chains as well in the market as well, right? I mean, Terra is ranking number two, alongside with Avalanche, and I believe it's BSC is top five now. And it used to be number two. Um, to be honest, the TVL on OEC is not that big yet, but it will be in the future. So I'm really, really positive. And the big news, of course, it will be announced. Yeah, I'm personally farming on OEC as well. So yeah, I encourage people to check it out. Yeah, the TVL, I have to say, is not as big as Terra or Ethereum or BSC, but there will be more works to be done. Just stay tuned.
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing about being in this space, right? Is like no matter where you get started, it's still so early and we're all going to be able to build. And, I'd love to see Gate Chain and OKX's blockchain in the top 10 TVLs in the coming years. And I'm sure they will be. So, very excited for that. On that note, one last question for you guys that I have, and then obviously I've been kind of hijacking the mic all night. But I know we have, like, obviously us at EverRise, we're a protocol, and I know there's a couple of other project devs in here. And I think one of the things that we're really interested to hear from exchanges is, Gate.io and OKX are leading exchanges in this space. Like, what would you guys say are the key things you look for in the protocols that you list?
Sure. I'll start then, I guess. Yeah, we always look for we want a project that's going to be successful, right? And so we look at it like any person will look at any investment or any business that is growing. We're always going to be looking at the team behind it. Who is the team? Are they capable enough to develop what they say they can develop? Have they proven to have developed something else before that actually shows us that they're going to be able to do what they're saying they're going to do, and it's not just pure talk? Also, how are they structuring their development? Is the structure they're currently working, and by the structure I mean the tokenomics and the roadmap and all of that. Is it something viable? Is it something real? Is it something that it's gonna affect that could potentially bring a lot of risk to the project and the users? Or sometimes you can also see if the project is making it more for the profit of the team instead of actually making the project successful. So we're gonna look at those key points. Obviously the community, because this is something that I tell every single project and every single people that I meet in blockchain. It doesn't matter if you have the perfect product. You can have the most advanced product. You can have these amazing platform like that they're taking care of those aspects too on their side.
I think Mariana covered quite a lot of good aspects out there, which we sort of shared on that basis. Now, beyond that, what I see in products, and it's not one, it's obviously going to be the community. The size of it that represents a lot because the adoption is quite important. That means how successful your product is at this level. Yeah. So if a lot of people echo to it, a lot of people respond to it, a lot of people can engage, interact, and make meaningful conversations, I think that will be a really good start. And of course, the teams and the backers, that goes without saying. It's very important out there. For some of the I mean, me personally have a sort of blacklist, and those are the people who have done like rug pull in the market before, and they sort of change their teams' identities. They're anonymous, insignificant at this stage, but you might take off in the future. Just say, for instance, um, when Polygon was first launched, it's pretty bad, right? I mean, nobody heard about it. And the selling price was pretty bad as well. It was launched, I believe it was launched on Binance beforehand as Launchpad. And then it changed into, it's rebranding into something else, right? I mean, it's just literally just taken off last year, February. The whole ecosystem just taken off. The TVL, everybody was talking about it. And they changed the name, they rebranded, and but when it was first launched, then it's nobody heard about it, right? I think the point though is we wanted to find the value projects out there, even though it's not something, it's not really good at this stage now, but it might be it might be something in the future. So this is one of the things I really wanted to mention. And in that case, we wanted to give ample enough support to make sure that, we can support it longer ways, right? And such as, if you guys have time, like you can check out the way we're listing stuff. So we're not listing too much, right? I mean, we don't make that much of partnerships in the market, and we have sort of our interesting direction go about it. What sort of teams we wanted to list, what sort of product we wanted to list, and just as I think we haven't listed anything like in the past week or so, and this week at this stage yet, right? I mean, we're not listing anything for like 2 weeks now. Before that it was P-Stake, and before P-Stake it was RSI3, and there was Magic, and there was Yumi, and there was Mattis, and there was a few others. So our listing, frequencies is not that high, but when we do, we give really good endorsement to the teams, and we wanted to have everybody talking about it, and we wanted to help the users get a better trading experiences in OKX. And this is not saying all other exchanges is not good, but it just we have our own ways of doing it.
I love that, Waso. That's great. There's tons and tons of requests. I brought up Hakuna. Hey, Hakuna.
What's happening? I get to go first. I'm so honored. There's only like 400 people watching and a lot of ears here that want to hear what I have to say. No pressure at all. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You got this.
That's all right.
Let's
Hakuna
go.
Matata.
Listen, I'll tell you, it's real easy, and I'll tell you why I have no worries, because when you've been in crypto long enough, you start to realize when you find the real deal and you can find some comfort in utility and in the future. And for all of the people out there that might be new and wondering what's up, you'll get there. We all go through very similar stages of our crypto experience. And when you find the happiness of believing in your utility, believing in your developers, believing in where they're going and their ability to deliver on the vision, you find some safety that takes you beyond the charts, and you don't have heart palpitations every time you see different candles on the charts and moving with it. So most of you know who I am. I've been in the community here for a while. I bought into Rise like probably about a week after it initially went out, because I was at a rough time there where I was chasing certain things and I started to doubt myself. So I stopped getting right in early on. And this is one that I wish I had gotten in sooner. And I'm so proud of the team. And I listen to everyone speak up here. And I mean, TJ, Jen, Lasso, and David, you're a rock star, man. I appreciate all you've done to help get us out of our shells there to come out and be vocal. And those who don't know, I've been up with TJ doing the daily AMAs, and I wouldn't be up there if it wasn't for David kind of poking me out of my shell there. Believe it or not, I'm generally an introvert, so this is really uncomfortable for me. But professionally, I'm a fire protection engineer. So for me, assessing risk and engineering solutions to mitigate that risk and provide protection and ultimately protecting people is in my wheelhouse. So it's kind of natural that I end up in a project like EverRise and I start looking at what they're doing, and I see Suresh's passion and Ben's passion as developers to come into a space where they had negative experience, get frustrated by it, and say, you know what, we know how to fix this. and then start working on solutions that are real world solutions that have real application. You know, I have the same shared vision in my world that I do in the real world, where I'm assessing risk and I'm putting measures in place to protect people and property and ultimately their investment. Kind of the same thing we see here, except it's just different paths, same concept. But I can relate to the passion this team has towards that, because it's the same one that fuels me every morning to get up and go to work and to spend the day doing what I'm doing, because it is a very rewarding and fulfilling position to be in, to know that you are making a difference in a world that desperately needs it. And I think all of us will agree that crypto right now, I mean, if you want to refer to it as DeFi as the Wild West of finance, then I see Suresh as being Wyatt Earp here to clean up the streets. Like, straight up, someone is coming forward to start putting solutions in. And I've seen a lot of other projects talk about it and put it on a roadmap. And we had a great spaces today where so many people were up, and you know, I think they're supposed to run 30 minutes or an hour. We went 2.5 hours, and we decided we were going to take a break because this was coming up tonight. But to be in a space like that unites so many like-minded people, intelligent people that are bound by this same common purpose of what Rise's vision is and what the tools are coming to the space. Everybody was coming up in our spaces talking, telling their experiences and telling their background. And it's a similar theme that we all kind of went through the same growth to get to the point where we realized that this project is delivering. And we talked a lot about looking at the roadmap and looking at, you know, white paper and how we vet projects. And someone asked that question, which led to a great dialogue where people talked about different things. But one of the points that stuck out for me was I started to realize a lot of the more senior people, when they stopped focusing on the what, and they started to evolve the answers into looking at the who and the how. Because anybody can put up a great story about what they want to do. But it was said before, I don't recall who made the remark. It might have been, I don't even remember. It might have been Marcella that made the remark about who are the people behind it, what have they done, and what can they do? I think that's a really important question that people need to ask, but I don't think many people do, because they don't know what they're looking for. If you go on Rise and you look up Suresh, you can find him on LinkedIn, and you can see that he's a programmer who's developed software solutions used in finance and other real-world applications. To me, that's pretty massive, because I don't know of any project where the CEO, the visionary, the leader at the top is also the software guy to get it done. I'm an engineer. I design solutions. You know how many salespeople put me in a position where they make all these promises to a customer that signs on, and I get this load of stuff dropped on me that I roll my eyes, and I'm just like, dude, what did you do to me? You have no idea what you're doing, and you're just promising the world. And we see that in crypto often. Many of us have seen it in projects that drop with great white papers, and we're chasing promises, and we're chasing all of the smoke and mirrors of what they say they're going to do. But the reality is they don't know how to do it, and they're relying on someone else. Rise to me is magical because the guy at the top, who's the leader, who's driving the ship, who is the visionary, is literally the one who's going to do it and has seen it. He's done it. We've seen it. The tools are out there. The native coin swap, I use it frequently to drop between chains. I mean, we talked about how we buy tokens and how we get to certain areas today. I can get AVAX, send it to myself in my Trust wallet, hit native coin swap, and turn it into Phantom, turn it into ETH, turn it into BNB, and just real quick, couple taps, block speed, real world solutions that exist that for all of crypto. And it was mentioned before, I think, Carrie, you said something about community being important. That to me is massive. And what I'm trying to think of how to explain Rise community and the uniqueness of it that drags me up here where I talk like this, and I'm so passionate about it, because I see things in the Rise community that I don't see elsewhere. Like I mentioned, David kind of pulling us out of our shell. Like, we've always been here in the shadows. We've always been friendly with each other. I know a lot of the people in the group here. I know their family makeup. I know where they're from in the world. I know what their trade or profession is. And we talk very friendly that I've never seen in another group in the years that I've been here. The toxicity isn't here. Many projects, you go and buy a token, you join their Telegram, and it's like you joined a cult. And that token is the end all be all. Everyone else is awful, and it's just very negative, and ultimately it's toxic. I go into a spaces today, and people from other projects come up, and we have conversations because the ecosystem built by Rise is for all people, for all projects that are out there. So it's in the interest of this system and safety and security to work with other projects and be friendly. So when other projects come in and talk to us, there's no enemies out here. We're all working together. Am I getting like my time up there, Jen, that I need to stop? Is that what's going on?
No, I mean, no, I love everything that you're saying. And, you know, just to like recap, like, yeah, like EverRise is, we're building infrastructure, right? So that's welcoming to all projects. And Akuna, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the kind words. Like, you already know the team loves, like, anytime we get feedback like this from the community, it just fuels our engines to keep building. But with that said, we are gonna move on if that's okay.
I'm fine. I'll talk for hours. You all know that. But I mean, I guarantee you, and the cool thing is, there are 400 plus people in this room right now, and you can probably find someone else up there. And I see Peter up here that can pick up off of where I'm leaving. And I guarantee you, he will say words that I would say if you let me go long enough. So thank you, everyone. Love you all. Love our Rise family and all the partners that are in here and all of the people that use the products like EverOwn and believe in protecting their contracts. And I will see everyone tomorrow.
Thanks, Akuna. Hey, Peter, how's it going?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having everybody. Welcome to our special guests. It's an honor to share the stage with you. My name is Peter. I'm an attorney living in New York City. I got into DeFi about a year ago, and I might have left because I saw so much next 100x, next 1000x. And I used to play a lot of poker, and I recognize a casino when I see one. But then I found EverRise, and I got into the Telegram and the Discord, and there were people there who wanted to talk to me about liquidity and automatic market makers and do math with me. And I feel like I found my place. I found a place where people were seriously focused on utility. I found a place where people were seriously focused on longevity. And I'm the type of investor that, I started looking for reasons why DeFi should even exist, not just EverRise. And I realized, no project will exist if it's purely focused on the short-term gain of holders. It should not be a prioritization of early adopters. It has to be a prioritization of long-term adopters. And so I have long seen a focus on longevity from the EverRise team, from the top down, and also in the community. I like to say frequently that dispassionate analysis is an EverRise community norm. Listen, we can get on Telegram and shout and holler with the best of them, but at the end of the day, if the team isn't delivering, and if there isn't an actual rational basis for the token to continue existing, we wouldn't be here. And we believe in the team, we respect each other, we have fun together, and we're looking for the future, and we're looking to find a way to help everybody, not just our own bags. So I'm honored to be associated with EverRise in whatever way possible, and I thank you guys for having me up to speak.
Thanks, Peter. Carrie, Mariella, we'll keep bringing folks up, but I'm curious. We obviously have a lot of Rise community members in the chat. Like, do you have any questions for the community that you'd be interested in getting their perspective as opposed to ours?
I think I would be very interested to know what got you first interested in EverRise. What made you look more into the project? That's a big question for any project.
Sure. I can take that one briefly. I was in other projects, and so monitoring Twitter, and I found just some random comment. And that's when I decided to step on into the Discord. And we spent all summer, we know that famous curve, like there's a big boost in the beginning and then a lot of flat price action. So I spend a lot of time with my friends in the Discord talking about mathematical analysis, running some possible future analyses, imagining the future utility for the dApps. And then the staff would come in and talk about it with us. And I learned that the team was very accessible and very serious. The team had a regulatory strategy, which appealed to me as an attorney. And it was just one of those things where I was lucky to click the right tweet at the right time.
Yeah, and I'm going to follow off on that because what sold me on this 100% was Guard. The first time I heard Guard speak, his accessibility being in here and knowing that this team had engaged legal counsel to help them navigate the framework of the world we were going into absolutely sold me that there was a longer term vision than my previous experience of rugs and promises that were failed to be delivered on. That was the initial moment where I knew this was not a flash in the pan, and this is a 10 to 15 year minimum project with this will be going on forever. My goals are way beyond what they used to be, and I can't look at any new project coming into the space with the same eyes again. EverRise has ruined every other girl in the space for me.
Can I ask a question?
Let's go. What do you got?
I just want to ask you guys, since you guys, you got Gaten here. You see, I'm not affiliated with EverRise. I listen. I report stuff G Media. We go ahead and report about the crypto space. We talk about the crypto space 24/7. I talk about it 24/7. I do my own Twitter spaces, live streams, whatever it is. And I sit back, I research, do a lot of research on a lot of protocols. So I'm sitting in this room right now and I'm thinking, what reasons would you not list EverRise with the amount of experience and the quality of products that they've been able to produce? Like, what would stop you from going ahead and putting them on your platforms?
Hi, David. That's actually a good question. Thank you for asking. Now, I would say, I think every exchanges out there, they have a marking sheet, right? I mean, they have to tick the boxes and stuff. I would say there are some factors that's related with the products, such as teams, the backers, the community size, and the vibe of it, such as the vibe we have. I think, it's quite good, quite amazing. Everybody's talking about it, and they have their own story. And the direction, the roadmap, the frameworks and stuff, and the whole 9 yards pretty much. And of course, that's on the surface. That's actually on the surface. And behind the surface, underneath it, there will be what's the current holders, right? The token holders, the transfers, and the on-chain data, and some analysis of what are the whales out there for this one. Now beyond that, there's factors outside the products, such as the market condition right now, which is sort of the current cases, right? I mean, the market it's not as good as is expected, and our we sort of covered this before. We have our own standard and also our own way of listing things. It's not like we're listing many stuff out there. As a comparison, it's we have a very high sort of listing standards. That saying that is, I love to speak with you all, in private, especially the teams, and what are things we can cover at this stage, and what are the things that might be done, should be done in the future to help your chances of getting listed, and making friend and helping out and just make your product a little bit better. Of course, I'm saying this not as an endorsement from OKS, but just as a friend, because I always love to reach out and help out with teams that are working really, really hard and providing good services and making good products, right? I mean, if things, just when Shiba comes to light, and the hype was so fast, and Binance just forget about their listing standards and list Shiba in no time, right? I mean, those are the things that when adoption hits that level, of that massive level, it's all gonna happen naturally. So, and I've taken some of the product they really want to get listed like really, really fast, and I dig just a little bit deeper, and they have like they've done this set of things, and they've got quite a lot of histories, and they've got multiple products in the past, and they don't bear enough energies and passion to support the things they're doing. They just want the quick money, they just want the pump and dump, and this is not something that we like. And obviously, I'm sure this is going to be different cases with EverRise, and I'm diving into the community, I'm having chats, I'm just nobody in the Telegram groups, and everybody's talking about it, and they're generating tons of messages on a daily basis. I think those are the really, really good things, and to start off, and everybody talking about products and what's it going to be next month, and what are the things going to be doing next month, and it's interesting, right? I mean, it's interesting. So I think the answer though is, there are factors related with the product. There are factors outside the products, right? I mean, when we say it, it's gonna be we weigh it out, right? I mean, obviously, we have a very high listing standards, but me personally, I love to help out however we can. On the company, we're not endorsing anything. Yeah.
Carrie, I love that, you're getting immersed within communities of protocols that you're interested in listening or listing. Sorry, not listening to, but we are listening to our community. And Mariella, I really loved your question of, what first made folks interested in EverRise, like what got people to come into the project. And I would really love to carry on with that line of questions. One, because selfishly, as the director of marketing, this is prime content for me to cut up and repurpose. But two, because, you know, some of the stories that I've heard are just so heartwarming and whatnot. And, you know, I haven't heard all of them. And I think that's a point of interest. So, Sunreal, if you want to take it up next, I think you're next in queue for the mic.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. Can y'all hear me well? I just want to make sure because my Twitter Spaces is glitching just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, yeah, when it comes to, you know, what caught my attention with EverRise, it would have to be the buyback. That was the protocol they had in the beginning that actually drew me to it. However, why am I still here? I mean, I've been here since day 3. The reason I'm still here is because of the work ethic, the professionalism, the transparency, and the way the team has the ability to innovate and then bring those innovations to life in a timely manner, a manner that's so timely that it makes me wonder what other projects are doing for 6 or 7 months. And then the community, like when you have a core team that displays those characteristics so well, it spills over into the community. And now we have a community that loves to educate and loves to uplift each other and loves to help people know how to look out for scams. And it's just like an entire project built upon securing the space, keeping investors safe, and then also relieving some of that headache and heartache from project developers with decentralized applications like EverMigrate. I've been in so many different migrations, and I just really wish they would use EverMigrate. So I can go to other communities and I can talk about EverRise without saying, hey, come buy EverRise coin. I can talk about these centralized applications that are in the best incentive for all investors to use, for all developers to use. That's, of course, my opinion, but it makes things operate more efficiently in a more of a seamless manner. So that's why I love EverRise. That's why I'm still here. I do want to keep this short, but I do want to just say this real quickly because I don't know if I'm going to have the opportunity to be in the same room with David again, and I wasn't able to talk with you on that last day in May, but I do appreciate all the value you brought to EverRise. I definitely admire you, me, my goddaughter, my little brother. We listen to your talk shows, and I just want you to know that once family, always family. There's no black sheep at EverRise. So thank you for all you've done. I wish you all the best of success. Thank you, Mariella, for having us, and that's why I love EverRise.
Thank you so much, man. I'm definitely going to let David have a second to reply to that before I jump in. Hey, David. Maybe can everyone hear me, by the way, or are we?
Yeah.
All right. I definitely want to highlight a couple of things that Sunreal said, right? So he said that what brought him to EverRise was the buyback. So for anyone that's listening that may not know, EverRise was the first project to bring the buyback into DeFi. I don't know if anyone saw, but yesterday, Amazon themselves announced a 10-to-1 split as well as a $10 billion buyback. This is something that never existed in DeFi until Suresh brought this into the space. The buyback has been forked over 2,000 times. Our original contract has been copied 2,000 times. And, you know, that's not even like what's exciting about Rise. What's exciting is the tools that we're building. We have applications where projects can migrate from one contract to the next. You know, I've had conversations with large Ethereum projects, very large, 50,000, 100,000 holders who renounced their contract, which means sending it to the dead address, which is something they did when they launched because they were told that that's the safe thing to do. The investors were so scared of scams and the rug pulls that they were demanding for the project developers to renounce their contract. And now they have 100,000 holders, and the Ethereum gas to migrate, all of their holders would be $4 million. It's crazy. And EverMigrate allows each user to migrate their own tokens to the new contract in a single transaction where it's transparent and the user pays the gas, and it allows the project to have longevity. So I'm definitely sorry, Sunreal, for recapping what you said, but I definitely wanted like everyone to understand like the two things you highlighted are very, very big things. From here, I'll say I'm getting like dozens of DMs of other people wanting to speak, and we definitely don't want to, take up everyone's time. I think we have like another like 24 minutes or so. But Jen, let's see who we could bring up next.
Yeah, I believe Fish, you're next in the queue.
Hello, everyone. How we doing?
Doing great, Fish. How are you?
I'm great. So everybody in the EverRise community knows me as Fish, the EverRise musician. Just to make a long story short, about 8 months ago on a whim, I wrote a song for EverRise. And the reason I did that was because I found a random PooCoin ad, or I'm pretty sure it was a PooCoin ad, and I came across the EverRise community in the Telegram chat. And I felt the positive energy, and I started looking into the EverRise project and learned about the buyback and learned about all the cool things that were coming down the pike. And it just compelled me to write this song about EverRise. And I wrote it, recorded it, and posted it in the EverRise Telegram chat. And the community's reception to that song was nothing short of just absolutely amazing. So
Are you about to sing for us?
I wrote another song in the past 8 months. I've written 180 songs, so this would be song number 188. If you guys would like to hear it, I'd love to play it.
Yes, man. Yeah. Can we throw some love? Let's go.
Okay, this song is song number 188. I've called A Minute or Two.
Let's go.
If I had just a minute or two to talk about EverRise to you, I'd barely find a way to fit it all in. Enough with the introduction, let's begin. The whole EverRise team is amazing. They're a talented group that's always trailblazing. The products that the team has already delivered are a tour de force that should really be considered. A premier ecosystem in the DeFi space. EverRise isn't just running, they're setting the pace. And if the team and products aren't enough, the community is full of some magical stuff. We'll tell it to you straight everywhere we go. We don't want to shill, we want the world to know that solutions exist for the DeFi stains of honeypots, rug pulls, and liquidity drains. So if you're looking for a new way to go, come on and check out the EverRise crypto. And oh man, I've been slacking. How could I forget the Kraken? It's the buyback contract that Titan created, often imitated, never truly duplicated. The Kraken is the original claim to fame. EverRise changed forever the DeFi game. So if I had just a minute or two to talk about EverRise to you, I'd probably sing a song instead. I only hope this song doesn't get stuck in your head.
Let's go! Woo!
Let's go.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
It's awesome, bro. This is awesome.
Dude, that was amazing. Let's go.
What was
Mariella,
that?
what do you think?
188.
I definitely have it stuck in my head. I'll be singing it in my sleep tonight. It was very good. Congrats.
Thank you, Mariella. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much, dude. I'm like ear to ear smiling right now. Let's go.
I can hear it in your voice.
Dude. All right, please, let's get a couple other people, and then, like I said, we don't want to take up too much of people's time, but I'm getting so many DMs of people wanting to just come up and say something. If that's
Absolutely. Okay. Rise Army Latino, how are you?
Hey, DJ, how are you, buddy?
Doing very well. How are you?
Oh, great, buddy. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Enrique. I'm a lawyer like Peter. My native language is Spanish, so please bear a little with me. I have to thank the team because all the hard work that you guys put in every day, the transparency for taking the right decisions and not the easy ones since day one, that has kept me on EverRise. And regarding to what Mariela said about information in different languages, we have more than 20 channels in different languages, Hispanic, Chinese, Indonesian, and we're all growing together, we're learning together, which is amazing. That is a beautiful thing to see. I got on EverRise one day because my sister saw one tweet and told me, hey, this looks good. The first project with buyback system. My dad, being on the bank, said, seems like a brilliant idea, get in. And I remember I got on pre-sale and I was so happy, and exciting time since then. Here I am 9 months after. My whole family is invested, many friends also. Excited about what is coming, watching the DApps get adoption, Everon, Ever Migrate, Ever Breach, Ever Swap. And Titan, who is the CEO and lead us, have created a project that is sustainable with the revenues and the utilities. And I still remember the word from his first day. It was, EverRise will change many people's life. And since then, he has proven that he meant it, and all of you guys too. And you have become a family to me. Thank you for that. I always say that we're on the right place, and I mean it. Uh, you guys have earned my respect. When you see the whole team, Storm, for example, she said, we keep building on the days that are dark, so when the sun shines brighter than ever. When you see all this, it's all like, I mean, it's all there. We can see it every day. The whole team, Waso, TJ, Jen, Ben, Black, Buddy, all of you guys are legend, the Moss, the family. I will resume it this way. What Titan and the whole team has built brought all these great people that we're listening right now, and we're a family now together. Uh, you guys built there, and here we are, and I really thank you for that, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Enrique. Mav, I have you up here next.
TJ!
Hey.
How are you, man?
Doing very well, my friend. How are you?
I am great. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me up here to speak. Good evening to everyone here listening. Appreciate you being here. I want to start off by saying loud and clear, EverRise is here to make crypto safe and secure, not just for themselves, but for every single person out there. If there's a problem in DeFi, EverRise has a solution. We just don't talk the talk, we walk the walk here at EverRise. EverRise has built many DApps that are simple and easy to use and provide safety and security for investors and projects. For example, 2 days ago, a project called Remetic used EverMigrate, which is one of our DApps, to migrate their V1 to V2. Remetic investors said, quote, it was easy, safe, and literally took seconds to complete. The best part is we build everything in-house. Our CEO Saray said, quote, if we need it, we build it. And now shout out to the best community ever in DeFi, the EverRise community. We don't waste time shelling at other projects. We educate and support each other. It is a blessing to be part of such a positive and like-minded community. Teamwork makes the dream work. On that note, I want to end this by saying, top-notch project, utility it provides. Let's make DeFi safe and secure with EverRise. Thank you for your time.
I love that, Mav. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. I'm going to bring up Yu. Yu, I saw your DM, so here you come.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir. Yu, you there? I think you might have just gotten rugged by Twitter Spaces, so I'm going to bring up Luke. Hey, Luke.
Luke, you might need to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner there.
Mo?
DJ, how's it going, guys? Happy to be here.
Hey, doing very well. How are you?
All good. Thank you for having me. I basically came to EverRise when I saw that it's, like the first buyback and all that. I'm not going to talk about the DApps, guys. I just want to say one thing. The community is amazing. I just want to like say one particular situation that is happening in EverRise. We have a so-called phishing group. So we besides the fact that we're helping people get educated on the main chat, we're helping the mods do that and all that. We do have a phishing group. Whoever tries to scam our dear holders, they send us those, you know, like pick up your seed phrase websites, those fake websites, and we basically Hakuna has taken down over, like if I remember the number correctly, over 700 websites by reporting their domain. For the last couple of months, I've felt nothing but family. I'm super excited about this project. Titan is on the VC every now and then. The team is listening to the community. For example, you got EverWallet was made like it wasn't in the plan. Titan was hearing about people losing their tokens to set scammers, and he actually started thinking and then building EverWallet to help us be safe. This just says everything. The ups and downs of any project shows the community and shows the team. And I haven't seen anything other than awesomeness and greatness from each and every one of you, team and community. Thank you all. And yeah, welcome to our guests. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Appreciate that. We'll bring up a couple more community members. We are sensitive to the times. I'm going to try bringing you up again. Luke, I know you're up here already. So, Luke, if you wanted to speak, and then you.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, French is my first language, so please bear with me. First, I want to obviously thank you, Mariela and Carrie. Thank you for joining today and for joining on this much-needed conversation. I loved your passion, and I loved your vision that you have for the space. And from what I've heard tonight, I reckon that there's something very compatible between the vision that you have and the vision that we foster here. So, you know, I speak as a community member, right? So I'm always in the chat, speaking, talking, sharing with people. And if there's one thing that I can tell you about this community, it's that education always comes first. And that's why I'm here and staying. Mariela, you asked what first brought us to EverRise. And for me, it was the buyback function too. It was something that I'd never seen before. And innovation obviously caught my attention. So yeah, I came for the buyback, but I stayed for the innovations and the necessary education that must come with it. So I feel like it's our mission now. On a daily basis, we strive to educate. We educate on utility, on on what it means for projects to have long-term goals and vision, and how these affect their scalability and future prospects. And you know, we try to steer people away from the green candle chase mindset that some of them have, because it's dangerous. Honestly, it's dangerous not only for them but for the space as well, because when a project relies on hype alone and has nothing tangible really in their roadmap to back up the valuation of their coin or token for that matter, it's a huge risk taken by holders on volatility. And you know, things can go south very quickly. And if we start having an increasing number of crypto users every year feeling that they got robbed or that they were promised something that never materialized, it's going to bound a response from authorities like the SEC or in France it's the AMF, Autorité des Marchés Financiers. And while I welcome regulations to a certain extent, when they go in the right direction, like Biden's EO from yesterday, I think that we all want to avoid any unreasonably harsh scrutiny, or worst yet, a crackdown from these entities that would only hinder the process of mass crypto adoption, which is the end game for most of us, I reckon. So there's obviously a huge educational gap to be filled, and I think it's settled now that EverRise is all about protecting the consumers by putting education and security first. But we're obviously not going to fill this gap alone, and it's on all of us really: community members, projects, launchpads, centralized exchanges, venture capitalists, DAOs. Oh god, I could go on and on about, you know, the future of VCs in an incoming world full of DAOs, but you know, that's a conversation for another day. Back on track, I think that we ought to be the change that we want to see, and everyone has a role to play. And that's why I got so excited to hear you speak today. Mariela, you mentioned earlier the lack of educational material in languages other than English, and I couldn't agree more. For example, I created the EverRise France Twitter account to tackle this education need and to be able to assist anyone who might not be able to do their own research in English. And I think going multilingual is definitely essential when you're building with longevity in mind and towards greater adoption. And that was very refreshing to hear from you. So I'm glad that we're on the same page on that. And yeah, I think the need for education is an important conversation that needs to be engaged in. And all it takes is a spark, really. All it takes is a spark from voices with a platform, from voices with influence. So for that reason, I thank you, Mariela and Carrie. I hope you enjoyed being here and speaking as much as we enjoyed listening to you, and that you won't shy away from coming back as speakers again in the future and carry on this conversation with us again. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Luke. I'd love to get back. Appreciate it.
So I think what we'll do is, I know Yu is up here. Are you still up here, Yu?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yep. So I think what we'll do is, we'll let you speak for a little bit. Our CEO, Suresh, also Titan, which is what we call him, is up as a speaker. So we'll let Yu go, and then we'll let Suresh speak, and then maybe we'll see if there's any final comments from Carrie and Mariella as we're closing in on the final 8 minutes, guys.
All right. Thank you, TJ. Hey, everybody. This is Yu here. I'm out here in the middle of the woods, so I'm swapping between Wi-Fi and cell phone reception to try to get through here. But I'm a day one investor. What was different about EverRise for me was the first and foremost, of course, is the buyback. When you're in this space, you're looking for what is somebody offering that does something different. And past that, there's so much more that was available with this project. What hit me close to home was the transparency through this team and the development and all the plans they have. Like, Titan is a genius. We just got to say that first and foremost. The speed at which she codes, it was this level of transparency that really drew me in. I've never been for the pump and dump. I've had projects I've been in that have went up and I've made profits. That's nice and everything, but I work a full-time job. I'm in construction and work 6-7 days a week in overtime. I want something that I can feel confident with and invest in and put my money in and see it for the long term. And I've been in plenty of projects for the last couple of years, and EverRise is one of the ones I really see going the distance. And I feel comfortable with my investment and that it making like a compound interest and generational wealth. Like this project has motivated me. I was in a place in my life when I was just going through the grind day in and day out, working like, how do I get out of this 9-to-5 hustle? There's no soul fulfillment in what I do, unfortunately. Pays the bills, but this actually brought passion back into my life, and it's helped me a lot, honestly. It got me out of my shell to where I've started my YouTube channel, trying to help educate people and break it down into layman's terms about cryptocurrency and the future that's possible through it. It's the wave that's coming along and how to get educated and make smart and safe decisions so that you can be a part of the ride. I mean, this is technology at its finest, and man, I just love the community. It's become a family. Talking to people way smarter than me, like Hakuna and Peter, they've been great. Everybody's supported me in my channel here, and I'm just your average guy, hardworking construction guy with a family of 5 who wants to do something different, and enjoy life. And this has been such a blessing. I mean, full-time traveling now, RV life, and it's nice to learn and be stimulated mentally. Like the transparency that Titans put out there, it's taught me a lot about the loopholes that he saw because he's in the coding, about how these projects were rugging, scamming, these pulling out liquidity, the newly generated liquidity and what they do with it. It just opened my eyes, and I love to learn, so that helped me. And now I feel the need to spread that and help others get to that point. That's all I have to say. I love this project. I mean, it's my family.
You thank you so much and keep it up with the content, man. Like I loved watching your videos and I look forward to seeing what other content you create cuz to your point, like educating in a way that is easily understood, especially for folks that aren't familiar with the terminology of this space is so important. So great job, keep it up and thank you for the kind words. On that note, I would love to introduce the man, the myth, the legend himself, Suresh, our CEO and founder, also known as Titan. Suresh, how you doing?
Hey Jen, hey guys, how are you? First of all, thank you so much for Kerry and Mariala for joining this space, and also thanks to David and Benzinga for hosting this. We have this Benzinga event every other week, and more projects or more people will come and talk about in general DeFi or about crypto or about our rise. Everything is so good for us. And also I thank the community so much that they have been supporting for me like for the past 9 months. The journey is not like smooth, or it's not like it is not going like straightforward, right? We have been facing so many hurdles since the beginning, like, and people are talking about mainly over the buyback concept. But for me, when I first envisioned, it was not about the buyback, it was all about making the chart look so beautiful. My impression was like for every sell there should be a buy. That was my initial idea. Like that was the reason why I want to bring the buyback. So initially we thought as long as there are no two cells in a row, the chart looks so good. Whenever people see it, wow, they will see that it's very incredible kind of thing. But unfortunately, I know I don't have much experience in the crypto, or because I just learned about crypto 1 year back because of all this COVID and all. But I don't know that there are bots or literally I have zero knowledge about crypto. But since I'm a programmer, I can actually get the language or anything. I can do it fast. So, but we have seen so many issues, bots attacked, and we have. What I mean to say is like it's not like we're not going smooth. Everything for every innovation what we are trying to bring, there is a roadblock. In some other form. So we went to V2. Now we are going to V3. Yeah, but everything like we want to bring the innovation, and also like even the products whatever we have been bringing, everything like I have faced. Before I started this project, I have been investing in a couple of all these meme coins or anything. I see that people are actually renouncing this ownership, and literally after renouncing there are some issue and they're not able to fix it because it's already announced. I tried to contact them. I tried to tell them that, hey, don't do that. Like it's not good to renounce the contract. If you lose the contract, there's nothing you can do. But some they say that community has to trust us. We have to do it. Like I tried to help them out, but still, basically, even what are the money I invested, I lost because the money got stuck there. Like there's nothing we can do. We cannot even pull the liquid out. Even if we pull the liquid out after 1 or 2 years, I think it will go to dev. So it's already like forgotten. And that was the reason when I planned this project, the first product I planned is the our own, because we should not renounce the contract. We made sure that the voice is heard. Now, if you see any project renouncing, I don't think anything is happening because everybody knows that renouncing a contract is a bad thing. So I believe that we started that movement that we should not renounce it. If at all, if you want to make that as a community, just lock into the our own. That is the solution what we try to bring. But still, people need to understand that having the ownership with you will be a little bit of difficult and stuff. If you put it into locker, it will be very good for the community. You will be engaging with the community for everything, so they will trust you because you are keep constantly like communicating with them. So that was the idea. Like, but the community was, we have seen so many things going on for the past 9 months, and the community is strongly supporting us. I am very thankful to them. So yeah, basically, I just want to make sure that the project stays for very long. That is the reason we are trying to build the products or build the utilities, even though we have a couple of taxes right now, but still our goal is without the tax, with the utilities, we have to survive. And the buyback concept, whatever it is built, that will be very useful for the holders, whoever is holding it in the future. So And also, like, yeah, I mean, since the community is already there, I mean, most of the community is listening. We'll have a surprise for you in the next 24 hours. Keep watching.
Oh my God, Suresh. You know, one thing that I will say, and Suresh, one of the things that drew me to come and work for you is your humility. Like, you are such a humble leader, and you came into this space saying that you don't have a lot of experience in crypto, and all I have to say is, quite frankly, a lot of the folks in this space don't have a lot of experience in crypto, but what you do bring to the table is over 2 decades worth of development experience. And you know having the products that we have, we are interfacing with other protocol developers all the time. And this is no shade to other developers, but what I will say is I feel like there are not nearly as many protocols out there with someone who is so experienced in the development space leading the helm. And I think, you should pat yourself on the back and give yourself that credit. Like, this project and protocol and this community, and we're all here because of you. And, you should allow yourself to feel that pride, because everything that you've built, the team, the applications, and the development, it's incredible. And I think, I don't mean to speak on behalf of the entire community, but I think I can safely say on behalf of the entire community, like, we're so grateful for you. And really, you have the experience. You've been doing it. We've been around for almost a year, and there's not a lot of DeFi protocols that make it past a couple of months. So I just wanted to shout that out. I do want to be mindful of the time. We are about 2 minutes over, but Carrie, Mariella, thank you so much for coming and joining us. I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation and live concert as much as I have. But before we sign off, where can people learn more about Gate.io or Gate Chain or OKX Chain? Like, where can they find you? Carrie, if you want to go first, and Mariella, you can take us home.
Thank you for inviting me, and this is actually a really great session. Actually, one of the best I've participated in the past, and the vibe is so amazing. Everybody's very lovely, and I love to get back to it. If there's more opportunities in the future, and for everybody out there, if you haven't followed OKX or myself, please do so, and feel free to reach out to me and send me any questions and queries. I probably don't have time to read through everything, but if you can. If all the highlights, all the important one, I will get to, just one step at a time. And, this is amazing. I think EverRise is really amazing. If you haven't followed them, please do so as well. Just stay tuned with OKX. And, we're currently ranking number 2 in all exchanges in the volume side. We'll be getting much higher in the future. And, enjoy trading with OKX and enjoy the community with EverRise. And, thank you for inviting me. Great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming, man. Mariella?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. It was I have to double on the fact that it was a very interesting conversation to have. I love when people are really engaged with projects, so that was really nice to hear from you guys. Definitely with Gate, you can go and check gate.io. We have all the products over there. You can check all of our social media links over there. For GateChain, you can go to gatechain.io and just stay pending on our Telegram and Twitter for future updates. And yeah, I just wanted to close off also with a personal advice from me. I love what you guys are doing at EverRise. I definitely like a lot your community. On a personal advice, just try to move that enthusiasm into the numbers, and I think that's going to help you guys grow a lot. So just leaving that out for you guys to think about and maybe analyze as a community. But I love this for spaces, and I love what you guys are doing. Please do keep it up. We need more communities like this in the crypto world. And thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, if we could give a round of applause, let's throw up some emojis for all of these guys. Let's make sure that we give Carrie and Mariella a follow each. And, don't be strangers. Both of you know the EverRise Telegram account. We host spaces often. So if you're around and you see our spaces up, please join us. Definitely got to shout out Benzinga and David. You guys have been amazing, amazing co-hosts of this DeFi Talks with us. Definitely can't forget about Suresh. EverRise would not be here if it wasn't for Titan and his development. DApp after DApp after DApp. Got to show some love to the EverRise team, the mods, the staff, put in countless hours. And most importantly, a big shout out to our community. Thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you very much for sharing from the bottom of your hearts how you feel about EverRise and our community. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day, good night, depending on wherever you are. But looking forward to catching up with you guys soon. Take care, everybody.
Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.